Hey Calvary kids, I'm extra happy today. You know why? Because today we get to explore one of my absolute favorite Bible stories. We spent the last few weeks working through the book of Judges. Remember, they weren't actual judges like we have nowadays. They were leaders who God used to help Israel. This week, we are looking at a small book in the Bible called Ruth. Do you know what being faithful means? Think about it, and then we will get back to that after the story. I can't wait anymore. Let's start moving through this book. To dive into the story, we need to start out sitting down. We ready our minds for some fun imagining. We find a comfy spot where you can see the screen but have room to move around. Let's sit crisscross apple sauce. Very good. Now grab your telescope. Last week it was behind this shoulder, so I'm going to try here first. Rats, not there. What about over here? There it is. Okay, let's look through it. Stack your hands in front of one eye and close the other one. Let's see. Who is that? We adjust. Woohoo! It's Ruth! Now we hang on to our knees as we propel forward into the story. Whew. Before we even get to see where we are, we hear something. Oh no. It's the sound of crying. I thought this was going to be a happy story. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Hop up and point to where the crying is from. We see the crying is coming from a group of women. A gray-haired elderly woman moves her shoulders up and down as she talks. She says, "You two were fantastic wives for my sons, but now my sons have died, and I want you to go back to each of your mother's homes. May the Lord show you kindness of you as you have shown kindness to your dead husbands and to me. May the Lord grant that each of you will find rest in the homes of another husband." Both ladies jump back 2 times in surprise. 1, 2. They both shake their heads no, but Naomi insists, "Return home, my daughters." Orpah straightens up and gives her mother-in-law a big hug. Hug your arms around yourself. And says, "Naomi, I will miss you. Goodbye." She grabs her bag and shuffles off. Naomi turns to Ruth and says, "Your sister-in-law is going back to her people and her gods. You go back with her." Ruth plants herself down in a chair and says, "Where you go, I will go. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God." We open our mouths wide in shock. Instead of going back to her own mom, she is going to stay with Naomi to support her and follow God. That is amazing. Naomi and Ruth head to Bethlehem together. Link your arms with someone near you, or just put them out like this. And skip 3 times. We are now in a field of grain. We run our hands along the plants and take in a deep breath and let it out. We can smell the wheat. We see Ruth, sweat gleaming off her brow as she works in the field to gather grain for Naomi. You see, they didn't have much money, and they couldn't just go to the store or market. We crouch down low and gather food too so that we can blend in. So we see a man approach Ruth. We reach, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Reach, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. The man says, "Hi, I'm Boaz. I am one of Naomi's relatives. I heard that you have kindly stayed with Naomi, and I want to invite you to continue gathering food in my fields where you will be safe." He heard of her faithfulness. Ruth keeps working until that night. She gathers grain on the right, out front, and then she gathers grain on the left. We come up to a stand as she eats a meal with Boaz's servants. Then she returned home to Naomi. Ruth was beaming as she walked in with her head up high, and she told Naomi, "Oh, Naomi, the name of the man I worked for today is Boaz." Naomi said, "Boaz is one of our family redeemers. That's someone who helps close relatives when they are in trouble." The next day, and the day after that, and the day after that, and so on, Ruth kept working in the field. Reach, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Reach, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Eventually, Boaz redeemed Ruth, and then Ruth and Boaz got married. Clap your hands together and put them behind your head like a veil. And they had a son named Obed. You can cradle a baby. Whose grandson would be King David. Make a crown. From whom Jesus is descended. God rewarded Ruth's faithfulness. All right, let's head back. Sit back down, crisscross applesauce, and close your eyes. Take a breath in and out. Thanks for helping tell the Bible message today. Did you think about what it means to be faithful? Ruth was faithful to Naomi and God by being loyal and consistently putting God and Naomi first. The reason I love that story so much is that Ruth showed her kindness, love, and faithfulness to her mother-in-law, even though that might have meant Ruth's life would be harder. And she also chose to follow God. And in the end, she was rewarded for her faithfulness to God and Naomi. Jesus Christ would come from the family line of Boaz and Ruth. This is the last story in this unit, so let's practice our memory verse one last time. If we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us. That's 1 John 1, verse 9. I'll see you next week, Calvary kids. Have a fantastic week.